news at 5. The Blackfeet Reservation issues an emergency 14-day shutdown after a sharp spike in cases. Plus, 2 new cases of the virus are found in the Lewis and Clark County Detention Center. What authorities are doing to keep officers and inmates safe.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 5.
Good afternoon and welcome to the News at 5. I'm Jessica Nelson. Thank you for watching us on air, online, and on your favorite streaming device. The Blackfeet Tribal Business Council announced a 14-day mandatory shutdown of the entire reservation starting late Sunday. The reason? The rising number of active COVID-19 cases on the reservation. According to a news release sent out today, for every 2 tests, 1 is positive. There are 86 active cases on the reservation and a few hundred people in quarantine. The shutdown was recommended by tribal health officials, and the news release said law enforcement will be, quote, on full force to cite and fine people who do not comply with the shutdown. Montana hit a new record today for single-day COVID-19 cases. The state announced 333 new coronavirus cases. There are just over 2,500 active cases right now in Montana. 128 people are currently being hospitalized with complications surrounding the virus, and over 8,700 people have fully recovered. One of the ways we are tracking the increase in cases is through the overall positivity rate in COVID-19 tests. That is the percentage of positive cases in each new batch of tests. And the percentage of positive results has been rising from about 2.5% on August 1st to almost 3.5% today. According to the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health, the percentage of positive cases is important because it can indicate how widespread the virus is in an area and whether levels of testing are keeping up with the spread of the disease. Well, new information tonight in the COVID-19 situation at the Lewis and Clark County Detention Center. County authorities confirmed their first COVID-19 case inside the detention center. Sheriff Dutton says a county detention officer tested positive on Tuesday after reporting symptoms. Now, since then, all detention center staff and a majority of inmates have also been tested. On Wednesday, results showed 1 inmate had tested positive. Sheriff Dutton said they have placed everyone in that inmate's pod on quarantine for the next 14 days.
The people that were in the pod have already been exposed to the inmate who had it. So having just one separate one is not going to work. They've already been exposed.
The sheriff's office is still waiting on other test results. They aren't yet releasing the number of negative tests. More than 100 inmates are currently inside the jail, and about a third of them have refused COVID testing. Jonathan Ambarian will have a more detailed report coming up tonight at 6. Switching gears now to our forecast. Got some good news for us Thursday, or is it just really windy out there?
It's just really windy. Hey, at least the sun's coming out, and boy, the skies have cleared out. Good afternoon, everybody. Taking a look at current wind gusts here around parts of the state. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts up there around Cut Bank. They're used to wind in that part of the state, but we've had some gusts up to 62, 63 miles per hour near Sweetgrass, also near the Sweetgrass Hills, and places like Kevin seeing some pretty strong winds. The strongest winds up along the High Line here, where we're under a red flag warning for the entire state, but high wind warning continues for north central Montana. Dangerous fire conditions. It's windy, it's dry, humidity-wise, it's dry and has been dry precipitation-wise here recently. So there she blows for another couple of days. Some strong winds. We'll talk this weekend. Possible precipitation types. Yes, maybe even a few flakes. And those baby blue skies. I'll let you know when we've got some fantastic fall weather headed our way coming up.
The Great Falls Public Library is trying to incentivize people to respond to the U.S. Census if they haven't already. This week and next week, the library's bookmobile will be at different locations in Cascade County, offering prizes like wireless headphones and wireless speakers for people who fill out a census form. The deadline to respond to the census is September 30th, and today the bus was in Belt.
Got to see about 8 people there, and got a couple of them to fill out the census, so it was kind of nice to get out in the smaller communities. For us, it's about getting the numbers so we can get a representative back in office so that we can get the support for Montana that we need to.
To find out where the bus will be next week or to respond to the census online, find this story on our website. Well, private music teachers in Great Falls are seeing less students sign up for classes during the pandemic. MTN's Zach Shermley shows us how they're faring.
Judy Odell doesn't normally do piano lessons over Zoom.
There you are.
But there's nothing normal about living in a pandemic.
You're muted. You have to unmute.
She's one of many private piano teachers in Great Falls who's had to adapt to the realities of the pandemic.
With 6 feet apart and hand washing.
Many private piano teachers have seen drops in student enrollment, and families don't have the extra cash to pay for lessons.
It's a whole new world.
Carla Bell being extra cautious during her piano classes.
I have used the face shield. It works really great because you can interact easily, you can talk easily.
Throughout the pandemic, she's kept in touch with her students.
And just go for it and deal with the mistakes after it's done.
Something they say they're grateful for.
To think about everything that's going on, you can just focus on your music.
Music is so important right now for so many people.
So much. It very much is.
Even over Zoom, music is helping kids through these troubling times.
I definitely feel like it's given me kind of an outlet for my creative energies. It's something I really enjoy. I've always enjoyed it.
I think it speaks to the expression of the emotion and the ability to lose yourself in music and have all the problems of the world drop away.
It's good for the soul.
In Great Falls, Zach Shermley, MTN News.
Next Tuesday, the block of 6th Avenue between North Roberts and North Sanders Streets in Helena will permanently close as crews begin work on the new Montana Heritage Center. Crews will start work first on the improved parking and ADA access to the Fish and Wildlife Parks building. The Heritage Center project is adding an additional 92 parking spots to the Capitol campus. The Historical Society has been looking at the expansion for years. The Heritage Center project was initially proposed 15 years ago. The Montana Historical Society is also seeking to raise about $10 million in private funding to help support the Heritage Center project. They have already secured over $5 million. All right, when we come back, Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz tells us just how windy it got today and gives us a sneak peek into our first weekend of fall. Coming up later, it's a technique that was established nearly 50 years ago, how passenger and freight trains coexist on the same line. That full story when we return.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I'm an anchor for KTVH News. These are my boys, Harvey and Fletcher. We have been reading together since the boys were just babies. That's why this year we donated to the Scripps Howard Foundation Give a Child a Book campaign. If you would like to help and donate as well, you can head to our website to find out how your donation helps children right here in Helena.
Tracker weather starts now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
All right, welcome back, everybody. What a very windy day here across a lot of the state. Taking a look at a viewer picture, Jennifer Nielsen sending this picture in. Jennifer even pulled over onto the side of the highway. Stay safe out there, but great crepuscular rays picked up there by Mrs. Nielsen. So thanks. If you have any pictures, you can send them in. Email them or send them to our Facebook page. curtis.grevenitz@ktvh.com is the email. But the clouds have kind of parted out there, looking pretty nice. 64 degrees outside right now. Some west winds gusting up to 28 miles per hour currently in Helena. Great Falls looking great here. Look at that blue sky. 64, but some gusts almost to 50 miles per hour. Very windy day across north central Montana. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s, a few 80s out there in the eastern part of the state ahead of the cold front that is sweeping across Montana. I showed you the wind gusts earlier. Those are the peak wind speeds. Well, these are the sustained wind speeds, and Boy, no break up there. Cut Bank, sustained winds at 46 miles per hour. A little lighter wind closer to the Continental Divide in southwestern Montana and then west of the Divide. But that wind will actually get worse for some areas. Maybe a little break overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. But take a look at the wind taking over again here on Friday and Saturday. No hopes of getting out of the wind. It will be another very, very windy day with some wind continuing all the way into Sunday. Now, today, you might not be thinking about the fire danger, but really should be. Remember, most areas east of the Divide under a red flag warning here for at least the next few hours. Some showers on the Divide and west of the Divide. We might get a couple of sprinkles up there into the northeast part of the state. Great to see that rain, though. Parts of northern Idaho, which have been having some fires that have sent some smoke our way, and great to see that rain and higher elevation snow into Washington and Oregon as well. The big picture, not much else going on here. Still the remnants of beta moving through the southeastern part of the country. But the Pineapple Express is in full effect here. We've got an atmospheric river of moisture. Look at that plume of clouds and moisture going all the way, almost virtually across the Pacific Ocean. Last time I checked, that was a pretty big ocean. And we've got a lot of moisture that is headed our way. Now, it's not really translating into rain or snow east of the Divide just yet. That could change though as we head into tomorrow here. Looking at a mostly cloudy day here for Friday, and here comes the next round of moisture really on the Continental Divide and west of the Divide, but during the evening hours could have a few showers come down off of the Continental Divide here. And notice the precipitation type as we get into Saturday. A couple of mixed rain and snow showers in the western part of the state that will continue into Sunday morning here. And here's a look at the snowfall forecast. See a couple inches there. Let's go back to that one here. An inch or two down the Continental Divide, also down around the Beartooth here, but that snow generally up above about 6,000 feet or so. For tonight, a very windy night with lows down into the 40s. You're going to hear that wind howl all night long for just about everywhere. And for tomorrow, it's a mostly cloudy day. It's a windy day. Temperatures a little cooler in some areas than today. A little more sunshine out into eastern Montana, mostly cloudy around Lewistown and near the Helena area. We could have a couple of showers through the afternoon and the evening hours, mainly again up into the higher terrain around town. Look at Saturday, 59 for the high, a couple of showers later in the afternoon, the evening that could mix with some snowflakes. Saturday night into Sunday morning. Sunday, another cool, windy day. And next week, though, really does look nice beginning here on Tuesday. And then for Great Falls, extremely windy again tomorrow. Less sunshine than today. A stray shower late tomorrow evening. Same goes for Saturday evening, Sunday morning early on. A couple of mixed rain and snow showers will be around the area.
If passenger rail service returns to Montana's southern route in the coming years, trains will have to coexist with lines already busy with freight traffic. During last week's Montana Passenger Rail Summit, one of the most frequently asked questions was how would that work? As Dennis Bragg reports, it will use a structure established nearly 50 years ago.
Stop and watch the mainline tracks and you'll quickly see how many Montana Rail Link and Burlington Northern Santa Fe trains are already passing through. So logically, one must wonder where would passenger trains fit if they return to the southern route. Turns out the Big Sky Rail Authority already has a partner.
In order to address passenger rail, we work with Amtrak. Amtrak is the federal authority. Then you move forward, Rail Link will work with Amtrak when it comes to determining rail times with BNSF, but their job for the most part is they view their main function is doing freight service.
That's the structure that was established when the government took over passenger rail service from the historic carriers in 1971.
The government will take this responsibility off your hands, and in exchange for that, the Amtrak will have priority dispatch over your rail, and will pay the lowest possible price per mile for access. That's kind of the terms of the grand bargain.
Of course, a lot has happened since that bargain was crafted, and Matthews told the Rail Summit audience there has been some talk of the arrangement being reviewed. But he says passenger rail advocates have had good success working with cooperative carriers like BNSF because of the mutual benefit.
improves the access to the rail, makes it possible to get the slots that we need to run the trains, but also improves the overall economy and improves, by extension, the economic conditions, the preconditions that the freight railroad industry needs to continue to thrive and grow.
In Missoula, Dennis Bragg, MTN News.
The interactive mental health campaign called Man Therapy has completed its 2-year run. Lewis and Clark Public Health spearheaded the push to bring awareness of suicide among working-age Montana men. Nearly 4,000 people used the website and 19.8% were recurring users. The website gives respondents tools and tips for coping with depression and stress. If a person is found to be struggling, they will be transferred to the Red Phone. Jess Hegstrom, who is the suicide prevention coordinator, says in just 2 years, 94 people were saved by being transferred to the Red Phone. Coming up next on the news at 5, nationally 870,000 people have filed for unemployment. We'll have some tips for those who are still unemployed during this ongoing pandemic.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching MTN News at 5.
Welcome back. Nationally, the number of people filing for unemployment rose slightly last week to 870,000. The Labor Department says 12.6 million people are continuing to get unemployment. Here's a look at the help some have received to get back to work and what advice experts have for those on the job hunt.
The unemployment rate in the U.S. is going down, but it is also almost triple what it was pre-pandemic.
I just never anticipated that this is where we would be in September. And
Bridget Altenberg is the president of the National ABLE Network. For 40 years, it's been helping people find work, but in the past 6 months, it's been working overtime.
It's scary for the people that we're talking to. It's scary for them, where we thought it would be a month or two of unemployment, and here we are basically 6 months later, trying to figure out how to help people navigate.
Altenberg says everyone out of work should know 2 things. 1,
there are employers that are hiring. There's employers that are desperate for people. So don't immediately assume that, oh, there's nothing out there, so I might as well not look. And the second piece I would say is figure out what you want to do. And then don't sell yourself short in terms of what makes you uniquely qualified for that role.
For example, you wouldn't think of a restaurant worker having a unique skill set to be a good fit in the IT field, but the National ABLE Network has been training them to switch over, and IT employers are flocking to recruit these workers.
People who have been servers intuitively know customer service in a way that I can never teach somebody who's in IT.
In addition to the National ABLE Network, there are also more than 2,000 government-funded American job centers offering free career and job hunt services. Also, most public libraries, even many community colleges, are offering free resume help and some career services as well.
At Lyft, when we think about the way that we can make an impact on communities, we think about how we can use transportation to make a positive impact.
The rideshare company Lyft has even jumped in to help the millions of people on the job hunt by providing free rides now in 20 cities to people going to and from job interviews, job training, and even free rides to work until they get their first paycheck.
We have a jobs access hub on our Lyft website that will help you be able to go in and sign up on a form where you'll say a little bit more about what type of support you need, what city you live in, and based off of that, we'll connect you with either your local United Way or your local Goodwill.
Those 2 organizations actually distribute Lyft's free rides, and the bonus is they also offer free career services and job hunt help. I'm Alicia Nieves reporting.
All right, we'll be right back after this short break.
When we welcome our West Coast viewers, with the clock running out on government aid, U.S. airlines warn they'll soon lay off tens of thousands of employees, what they're asking for. Also a look at the daunting logistics of shipping and administering millions of COVID vaccine cases when we see you tonight on Nightly News.
As news leader, you're watching MTN News at 5.
Thank you so much for making us a part of your evening. That's all for us tonight. Nightly News is next, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.